What is up, everybody? We are back. Finally, long time no see, guys. This is Fat Guy Sports Talk. I'm Aaron.
I'm Tyler.
I'm TJ.
I don't know which way you'll be showing in the video, so
They're around. I'm in the top right.
Calm down, Vogue. Calm down.
All right, so guys, a time that I would never think we would see this year finally happened this weekend, and I could not be happier. So that's kind of why we're back. Football returned finally. So we are going to talk what happened this weekend with the start of the very, very strange, but very happy to see NFL season. So seeing as we're in the Midwest, we're going to probably discuss more about the NFC North around here. So we're going to start off with Tyler's team. I guess we'll start with the Packers.
Yeah, the Packers, they had a pretty good game. They scored the most points out of any team this weekend, so that's always nice to see.
Did they give up the most points next to Minnesota?
No. The Browns gave up more. The Panthers gave up just as much.
The Browns played the fucking Ravens, so yeah.
This is true.
The Falcons gave up more.
Okay.
And the Texans gave up just as much. So, suck a dick.
Okay.
I don't care I don't care that they gave up all that points because 3 touchdowns to my number 1 receiver in fantasy, Devontae Adams, ruined you, Tyler, didn't it? How does that feel?
It hurts. It burns. It does.
So, I mean, the thing that does concern me about that Packer game, though, is not that 30 points were necessarily put up. It's that 34 points were still scored on Green Bay after you guys had 43 points on,
Oh, yeah.
That's a lot of points to give up in a shorter period of time.
That's the thing Matt LaFleur came out and said. He's even upset about it. Matt LaFleur came out and said there's no reason we should let off these teams.
Yeah, and with Minnesota specifically, that was what we were all worried about after their draft because they got rid of all of their cornerbacks.
Mm-hmm.
Who is going to guard anybody? And apparently it's nobody.
I'm just saying, I don't know if it's the lack of fans, but Rodgers seemed more in focus than I've ever seen him.
I mean, let's be real. It's pretty easy to be in focus when your cornerbacks are playing it like Aaron.
That's what I'm saying, though. He made MVS look like a superstar out there.
But look who was covering him.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
He made them look good. He made them look better because he had no one covering them.
This is more of me, I'm not super blown away by Rodgers because of who he was playing against, and that's what Rodgers should do against lesser caliber defenders.
But we've seen it in the past.
Here's a thought, though. Do you think Rodgers is going to play with a chip on the shoulder this year, being ranked outside the top 10 of quarterbacks? Do you think that?
No, because he's still Aaron Rodgers. He doesn't. He
still
need a
is.
chip on his shoulder. He knows he's the best in the league.
But is that going to give him that much more drive to just go out there and fuck shit up?
It is. Aaron Rodgers, he likes the competitiveness.
I don't think that's it. If Aaron Rodgers is coming in with a chip on his shoulder, it's because everyone said he sucked after last year.
Exactly.
I don't think he wants to prove him wrong. He ranks on quarterback things. He hurt everyone last year, and he's like, no.
No.
That's the chip.
They drafted Jordan Love. He was ranked outside the top 10.
This is not a good year. Maybe a combo of stuff.
He's going to come in with a chip on his shoulder, and it's going to be great for me.
You have him as a quarterback, don't you?
No, he doesn't.
He's a Packers fan.
Yeah. But he did take they did suffer a big loss that we'll see how it handles on the next game. Was it Lane Taylor done for the year, starting lineman for them?
For the year. He has to have knee surgery.
So we'll see who fills in his spot and if teams attack him in the next game. Who do they play next, Tyler? I forgot.
Lions.
Lions, okay.
So we'll see how that goes.
I think that's at home too. So
it is. It's the home opener, which I don't really know how much home openers matter in this bubble scene anymore.
That's true. I mean, for guys, it'll feel good to be back on turf that they're used to, but there's not going to be any fans. So
one thing though is the noise volume in these. They said that they're not allowed to go over 70 decibels, which is the
ridiculous
in an office.
Yeah.
Which if you think that's even close to how the U.S. Bank Stadium would have ever got, that's hilarious.
Oh, yeah.
70 decibels.
They got to
US
allow
Bank
it to be
Stadium
somewhat
roars
high,
as
though.
Why
loud as
70?
airplanes.
What, like, who came up with 70 after going to did they ever go to a football game before? Like, have they ever
Loud
heard
as
a football
fuck.
game on TV before? Did they just, like, pull
Like I
this
said,
number out of their ass?
And when you're in Minnesota, that thing rumbles like a jet engine because
Not
it's so
70
loud.
decibels worth.
No.
Like, 70
70
decibels
decibels
in that stadium would be me talking to you.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
But yeah,
Ding.
with that game though, it did. The Packers did win 43-34. I mean, Rodgers threw up 4 touchdowns, 364 yards on 32 passes completed.
Rodgers threw up Rodgers numbers pretty much.
Yeah, Devontae Adams put up what we wanted him to keep going with, coming in 100% healthy. The one thing that's concerning is Devontae Adams had 14 receptions. Why is
I
he
don't
being
think
targeted
that's
that many
concerning.
times to have
I
14
don't.
receptions?
Let's be real. Like, if you have Devontae Adams on your team and he's open, are you not going to throw him the football because Lazard might be open? No. I'm chucking that ball his way all game long because Mike Hughes is who is covering him. And nobody is going, man, he's going to present a matchup to Devontae Adams.
I think what was proven in that game, though, is that everybody was like, why didn't they give Rodgers more weapons this offseason? He doesn't need them. MVS and Alan Lazard stepped up. They had a great games.
Lazard. I liked him last year. I'm glad he stepped up this year.
I'm going to hold out on that one just simply because, the Vikings might have the worst secondary in the NFL.
We'll see how they keep going through the season. But
repeatedly going into the year, that their secondary is terrible. So, that's why I'm not on this Aaron Rodgers hype right now. I was like, he should be doing that. I'm more surprised by MBS having a big game, but also, I'm not ready to say they're great receivers yet when they're playing college-level talent.
Yeah.
Really quick.
And also, they didn't have a pass rush. Danielle Hunter was out.
True.
It's true.
Look, really quick before we get off the Packers, with the rumor train coming through, there was a radio show with Odell Beckham, Mr. Number 2 himself, little squirt, that he was saying it doesn't matter where he plays. He could play in New York, L.A., Cleveland, or Sheboygan he could live in.
Sheboygan?
There's rumors saying that he's talked about being traded to the Packers. So watch out for that.
I don't think that happens.
No.
I mean, it might. It would fill a need, and Packer fans would lose their shit if you guys picked up Odell Beckham Jr.
Too good. He's in a perfect spot. He plays on the Browns, and he obviously, as the news broke last week, loves the Browns. So it's the perfect fit. He'll never leave.
I would also love my employer if I was asked about it.
But yeah, there's the rumor that OBJ could be coming to the Packers.
I don't see it, but who knows in this crazy season.
I was thinking about it, while I went off my
hour, the Browns have said that they're willing to trade OBJ.
Yeah, you got to get rid of OBJ if you're the Browns. You're paying him too much money to underperform because, yes, he would be a great boon to that offense. But number one, watching the Browns again, everyone's going to blame this on Mayfield. Again, I am watching him under pressure every single time he drops back. There's no protection on that team. Why are you paying this guy $14 million to not have a chance to get open? That's why you have Landry. He's that short target. He's the route runner. Odell Beckham's a down the field guy, but you can't get open down the field if your quarterback's under pressure before he even sets in his stance. Now, at first I was like, no, that's not good because it's going to hurt Devontae Adams' numbers. But at the same time, everybody in Wisconsin has been pissed that they did nothing for weapons for Aaron Rodgers. Bringing in OBJ, I don't know. It would be great for him.
Yeah, I think that performance on Sunday kind of hushed some Packer fans. They're like, all right, maybe they need weapons, but
when they start
we'll
playing
see.
Other talent,
We'll see.
Be, who's at tight end?
Let's go on to the next game here. We're staying in the Midwest, like we said. Let's just finish off the NFC North. Little Bears-Lions action. Aaron, you want to take this one?
Hell yeah. So, fortunately, I didn't get to watch a lot of the game. I was keeping up as best as I could on NFL Red Zone and whatnot.
Adrian Peterson.
When I saw he was released by the Redskins, I'm like, Bears, take your shot. And
I was
then when I
kind of
saw
hurt
he's
because,
back in
like,
the
I
division is
drafted him
even
in my
worse.
fantasy league.
I don't know why they let him back in the division because, God, he destroys every team in the NFC North whenever they put him.
Next week, I'm expecting, because
He
Kenny
averages,
Clark was
like, what,
hurt last week,
500 yards a game
next week I'm
against the
expecting
Packers?
Adrian Peterson to go off for like 160 yards against the Packers. It's
I'm starting him as a flex next week.
Yeah, it's
Because
You
probably
should.
a good
He does
move.
great against the Packers every
I
game.
don't know what it is, but yeah, like he goes
And,
off the NFC North. And 6.6 yards a carry. Like, let's not ignore, yes, he's had 96 yards plenty of times in his career, but like 6.6 yards a carry is pretty good for 50-year-old Adrian Peterson.
Yeah.
AD.
But the Bears, I don't know. Maybe it's the lack of preseason games or whatnot, but for 3 quarters, they were just non-existent.
I have 2 words for you on what happened. Mitchell Trubisky.
Yeah, he turned it on in the 4th. He
Did.
earned
love the
himself another
ESPN
week, that's
stats.
for sure.
Ah,
I love
Yeah,
the ESPN
I
top
hear he
performer
had
stats.
like the
That's all
greatest.
Lions.
I had read somewhere he had like the greatest 4th quarter performance statistically in history, almost, judging on like quarterback rating and whatnot.
well, he would have had to for them to win that game.
Yeah, I don't want to say like the Lions choked, but they did.
That's, yeah.
Bears
21
just,
unanswered points.
yeah, the Bears turned it on in that 4th quarter. I'm like, I didn't know what happened, but I'm happy it happened.
Here's one thing. Here's how the Lions lost that game, right?
DeAndre
Your
Swift
starting running
has brick
back.
hands.
No, your starting running back is averaging 6.6 yards per carry on 14 attempts, but you throw the football 42 times. That's why you lose that football game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You only
I
give
was
somebody
puzzled on
6.6 yards a carry, 14 carries.
3rd and 7.
No.
I'm the Lions. It's 3rd and 7 with 3 minutes left to go. You're up by a score. Why are you throwing the ball? You run. If you don't get it, you punt. You had Adrian Peterson, who'd been dominating all day. Give him a chance. You gave the Bears a short field. It took, 2 plays, if I'm thinking right?
Yeah.
And Trubisky
What
threw an
that tells me
absolute
is
dime
Matt
to
Patricia
Anthony
still
Miller.
has no idea what he's
He
doing.
really did.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like, this is the trademark Lions team under Matt Patricia. He was an exciting hire. I never understood it. They brought him in thinking like, oh, good, he was a Patriots guy. I was like, did you see the Patriots defense under him? It was not good at all.
We see what happens to the Patriots after they're off the team. Look at Brady.
I mean,
We'll get to that. We'll get to that.
Dirty.
We'll get to that. I know TJ's going to have some words on that, but we'll get to that.
Oh, that's dirty.
But no, I think if the Bears can keep this momentum, they can surprise some people. I don't have high expectations for him this year, but they were disrespected in all major media, predictions this year. 3 games, I think this team has a little more talent, than they can win 3 games.
They could get 4.
Look at who they play this year. They get Jacksonville, who no disrespect to them. They did beat the Colts this year, but
I mean,
they have the Giants at home next week. I don't know if they'll be above 500, but I think they can win more than 3 games this year.
I see the Bears winning 6.
Especially even if Trubisky starts to shit the bed, we have arguably the greatest backup of all time that can come in a backup role. Nick Foles, was paid starter money, but he wasn't brought in to be a starter.
Nick Foles is going to start. I would say before week 6, Nick Foles will be your starting quarterback.
If Trubisky can play,
sit on the bench.
If Trubisky can play a full game like he did that 4th quarter, Foles might be on the sidelines for the most of the season. But if it again turns,
he's not. I just don't see how it's possible for Trubisky to play like that. He's not that good. He just played a team that traditionally blows up in the 4th quarter, and he took advantage of it and had a hot streak against a really terrible team when he needed to. Because the only win, if you're playing that all game, part of the reason that might have been throwing him off is running the football. I have no idea, but he was terrible.
But overall, stat-wise, it wasn't a terrible game for their offense. I do, as the season goes on, it will improve. Remember, they had no preseason, to gel, to get in.
That could be part of it, too, is it took him a while. And maybe, I don't think he's as good as the 4th quarter, but he could be a decent option, I guess. But I don't know.
Yeah.
I just don't see them trading for Nick Foles to plan on him sitting on the bench all season.
Right, true.
I don't see the Bears doing a lot of stuff they do, like trading up for Trubisky.
Yeah. I don't know. That whole quarterback situation makes no sense because I didn't think Trubisky would be starting the season, and he did, and I'm all confused by it. And then he plays a great fourth quarter, and I don't know what to do with my life. This season sucks so far. I texted Tyler, and I think it was like 3:15 on Sunday, going, what the hell is going on? Because none of these scores made sense. I saw the Raiders won. I was confused. I saw Josh Jacobs had 3 touchdowns, which was great.
My fantasy
The
team
Redskins
again.
won
The
an
Washington.
opener
Yes.
against the
The Washington
Redskins, the
football team.
Washington football team.
Yes. Do you want to talk a little Raiders, TJ? I think we can move on from the Bears, Lions.
Yeah, we can go Raiders. So overall, I think they played okay. You know, their defense is a kind of, I think, what you're going to see. Derek Carr checked down a lot. He didn't really make any chances. He did throw the ball deep to Henry Ruggs a couple times, and I think
And he's
Henry Ruggs
fast.
made, like,
He was
catch.
really fast. Henry
He's real
Ruggs is fast.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, they threw the ball. I think they threw the ball to Ruggs like 5 times, and he caught it 3 for 55.
Carr looked good, though. He had a touchdown in the corner of the end zone. Forget who it was to, but that was a beautiful pass. Aguilar, that's right. He actually caught it, surprising. But, yeah, he looked good. But that was a game that I don't know what to take from it. I don't know who's good and who's not good.
This is why, I mean, if you look at the game, you know, hey, Derek Carr completed 22 passes out of 30. That's incredible. Oh, for 239 yards. Hey, he didn't throw any interceptions. Oh, but he threw 1 touchdown. Then if you look at the running game, you go, holy cow, Josh Jacobs had 3 rushing touchdowns on 25 carry. Oh, for only 93 yards?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know, you see Henry Ruggs at the top of the receiving chart. You see a burner like that, 3 carries. Oh, wonder what he has. Oh, 55 yards, no touchdowns. Like, it's very confusing stats. Defensively, they weren't great. They were very mediocre. I don't think Carolina's offense is as good as it can put up those kind of points. I mean, I like Teddy Bridgewater, but
Bridgewater played good.
The Raiders are very blah, and that's what you get out of them is yes, they're going to score points sometimes, but the defensive effort is not really there, and their offense isn't very exciting. I think they're an 8-8 team. This is what I see out of them. I don't see them very spectacular on offense. They're not very spectacular on defense. Their defense needs to pick up a lot. I just don't see them being very good this year.
Yeah, like I said, they're 2 teams that we don't know what to expect from, and to play as evenly as they did. It was only 34-30? That was the final.
Keep in mind, like
34.
This is a team, the Raiders, that has continuity. They've been together. They're running the same playbook. A team that has a rookie quarterback, basically, well, not rookie. I mean, first year on the team in Teddy Bridgewater, put up 30 on them.
Yeah.
That concerns me a lot.
Arguably the best running back in the league, too.
The numbers I liked out of there were Bridgewater's numbers, but Robbie Anderson.
He had one
Robbie Anderson
huge catch. Those stats are inflated.
That's what he does.
That's what he does, though. It's good.
You saw it in the Jets all the time. He's only going to do better with a better quarterback or a better.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. I'd like to see him doing better because I think he should be getting the ball more.
I agree.
All I can say is
I don't know if he can run the routes like a true number 1, but he's going to burn people down the field.
He is.
He did it in New York with Darnold and Gase. He's going to do it here.
I'm not looking too much into his performance in that game, though, because you take away 1 catch for, 78 yards, and his stats are dog shit.
I mean, they did throw the ball to him 8 times. So
true.
That tells me with that huge catch, he's starting to figure out the route running a little bit better, which is good for that team.
And
that's a formidable guy opposite Moore.
Yeah, like I said, they're going to say they're going to still have DJ Moore, too.
And Curtis Samuel. I think he had a pretty big play. I just can't remember which one it was. I remember his name flashing.
All right, so moving on here. We'll kind of breeze through here what else happened over the week. Any surprises? Or, TJ, I know you were just saying that you were looking at some of the other games and you were just – they were making you mad.
Come on. Like the Giants. Let's go to the Giants to start with, right? So Daniel Jones so far has been nothing different from Eli Manning. The only difference is that we had a frame of reference for Eli Manning where people could go, oh, he's a Hall of Famer. If you look at every other game of his career, pretty much, outside of his playoff games, he's not a Hall of Famer at all.
Oh yeah.
The guy's so inconsistent, and it's like they just drafted younger regular season Eli.
Mhm.
They give him no help at all to try to make him develop as far as throwing the football.
They don't give him any fucking weapons.
Golden Tate is your number one receiver. The guy hasn't been a starter on any team he's played for. He started on the Lions, and they were like, oh, man, he's not good. Let me go get another backup wide receiver to start over you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I will say Darius Slayton stepped up, and he was
surprising with the
Yeah, he was surprising, yeah. But I think the most surprising thing from that game, and I know TJ would be upset with it, is Saquon Barkley.
Who I drafted with my number 1 overall pick.
6 yards.
15 carries, 1.6 yards. That,
granted,
Steelers are a tough defense.
Yeah, they're the second best defense in the league. So,
but you're Saquon Barkley with tree trunk legs.
Yeah, he was a lot more dangerous out of the passing game than he was in the running game, which was kind of surprising.
But looking at this weekend for surprising games,
Washington over Philly.
Honestly,
yeah,
a Philly game.
Yeah.
Especially
that Washington came back so late to beat them with Haskins starting.
They came back 13. They came back with 20 unanswered points in the second half.
First
to
team
win.
to be down by 17 and then win by 10 or more, and like ever.
It's the team with no name. It's great. I love it.
They're the soccer club, the Washington football team, the soccer club.
Well, and yeah, they said they might be keeping that name if the fans so basically they're saying if the fans buy enough merchandise, we might keep the
That's stupid. That's stupid because they'll buy all this merchandise, then you give them a new name, and then they'll buy a shit ton of that merchandise.
I know.
I wish I was a fan though, so I could chant, "Yeah, go football team, go football team." That'd be great. I wish that was my team.
I would not want to go to any of their games because that would be so annoying.
Oh yeah.
Go football.
Some other games, that didn't really surprise me was New England over Miami. I figured they'd win.
Yeah.
Offense for the Patriots is what I expected. I'm kind of shocked he ran the ball as much as he did, but not really.
He said he was going to run the ball a lot this year.
Yeah, going to Jacksonville over Indianapolis, that's not too surprising to me because the Colts were terrible. They just added Phillip Rivers.
That's surprising to me because the Colts were in control most of that game.
I'm just talking looking at the outcome of the games. I would have picked Jacksonville to win that game.
I wouldn't.
It was at home.
To do that perfect almost or near perfect of a game.
That was the only game on Sunday to have fans too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I was going to say
that could have played a part too. Yeah, the Chiefs played on Thursday.
Yeah. That was not surprising. If we're going to go over games KC putting up 34 points, the only surprising thing about it was that
Houston didn't match it.
They didn't have that much practice.
The only surprising thing was that Houston didn't even come to play. You got your man of the future there. Yes, I know they lost Hopkins, but still, I expect
Hopkins is what made that offense go round. I've never thought Watson was that good. I thought he was that good because he had Hopkins. If we're talking about surprising, the outcome of the Buffalo Jets game was not surprising to me. But what was surprising was how good Allen looked. He was
minus
accurate.
The 2 fumbles.
He ran when he needed to. He was super accurate. Yeah, I don't know. I like.
He needs to stop running.
He showed the maturity that I said they needed to for them to win that division.
If it's a decision to run when he should, and that's a good thing. But knowing when to get down because he had 2 lost fumbles and they were all his fault.
Okay, let's
his
not
ball
talk
security
about
on that was terrible. So, but yeah,
he
obviously he did look good though.
14 times in that game.
Yeah, he did look good. But as Tyler was saying,
12 yards, no picks is the big thing.
Looked good. As Tyler was saying though about Hopkins, how about the Cardinals upsetting the Niners, right?
I'm shocked Hopkins put up those numbers. I was Kyler Murray can wing the football, but I don't think he's going to be getting fed like that. But he's going to be fed like that.
Yeah, 16 targets. Yeah. Kyler looked damn good though. He had a slick little touchdown run too.
Kyler Murray led the game in rushing with 91 yards and 1 touchdown.
That's not surprising to me. I mean, who's going to run the football in the 49ers?
True.
Everyone's talking about Raheem Mostert. There's a reason he didn't play till he had to last season.
Yeah.
He just did really well with the time he had. There's a lot of people that have done that. Come playoffs, they turn in that gear because
like I said a little bit ago, the most surprising game I thought of was, or one of them was the Chargers Bengals. Not for the outcome, not for how it ended. The fact that Joe Burrow was able to stick with the Chargers defense and score on them and keep the game that close.
Joe Burrow had a game. I was
He did,
impressed.
and I'm proud. I'm happy.
I think he got robbed. He did have a very bad rookie mistake of that shovel pass interception. Bad decision, but questionable call on the pass interference to AJ Green, and then to drive your team down, in the waning seconds there, just to get fucked over by your kicker. Like poor Joe Burrow. Like that game
Right.
should have went to overtime, and I would have loved to see what he could have done in OT.
Oh yeah, he was starting to get in
Impressive.
rhythm.
I mean, yeah, he did okay. Like, I don't know why everyone's so hyped about him. Keep in mind,
Because
like,
he did it with the Chargers defense is a hard defense to do anything against.
They were without Derwin
yeah,
James,
in the front
right?
seven.
Yeah,
I'm not so worried about their secondary right now.
Derwin James is out, wasn't he?
Who?
Derwin
Yeah.
James, yeah.
Derwin James is out, and Derwin James is the lifeblood of that defense. He's like Bob Sanders to them. What the Colts were, even when they had Reggie, or not Reggie Wayne, but when they had Robert Mathis and Dwight Freeney up front,
Mm-hmm.
they would pin their ears back, and they were terrifying to go against. People didn't want to do them, but without Bob Sanders, you can move the football on them. Keep in mind, Burrow, he had 23 completions. He missed 13 of them. He didn't throw a touchdown. He threw for under 200 yards, which means he was checking everything down, and he still threw an interception. He did scramble for the one touchdown, though, so that was good to see because the runs that I did see, a couple of them, he made a good decision to run the football. With this being his first game, I'm not going to grade him too harshly for it, but everyone's anointing this guy and going, oh, what a great game for him. I was like, actually, it was not that great of a game. You just are giving him way too much credit for not having the things that people normally do. I don't think
his exact numbers, though, were Tom Brady's. Tom Brady went 23 for 36, 239 yards.
Yeah.
Like, they had the exact same.
Except for Tom Brady threw 2 interceptions.
And you know what else they had in common too is they both lost, which was glorious.
And I mean, let's also put in this perspective, like keeping pace with the Chargers is the phrase that was used here.
Yeah.
The Chargers put up 16 points.
Yeah.
Okay. Like Tyrod Taylor threw basically 50%, 16 for 30.
True.
All right. So let's discuss what I'm sure everybody wants to know. Tom Brady's Tampa Tom. Here's the thing about this game, Tyler. You don't know, but I was about ready to text you after that first drive and be like, wow, Buccaneers look fucking good. And then I waited, and I'm glad I did because the Saints controlled the rest of that fucking game, and I couldn't have loved it anymore.
Yeah.
Tyler, do you want to start?
It was beautiful. It was beautiful. That's all I can say. Tom Brady looked exactly how we all thought he was going to look. That he's not anything without Belichick.
Okay, so you know my opinion on that. Like, I have made this vocally clear.
He's an old Jameis Winston now.
You saw that meme I sent. So here's the thing. Like, Tom Brady played like shit. Mm-hmm. His numbers were terrible. He was missing wide open people. But, like, here's the thing, too. They were playing the New Orleans Saints. That is not a soft defense anymore. No. That is a very tough defense. Marshawn Lattimore blanketed Mike Evans that whole game. I went back and watched the tape on that, and Mike Evans could not get open. So, like, Tom Brady putting up those numbers against New Orleans, I'm okay with that. It's not GOAT numbers. But really, the reason Tom Brady was considered the GOAT was because of a couple of really good years throwing the football with Randy Moss and them, and then 6 Super Bowls. Because, like, This is more in line what I expect, but he's going to have better numbers than this. This is just a very, very good defense he played. And they did only put up 23 points. The thing that shocked me the most was Leonard Fournette was clearly game ready. You went out and signed him because you want him to play, but you gave Ronald Jones 17 carries.
I thought
That's
I read
kind of
that
shocking to me.
Ronald Jones was still the back there.
Yeah, but he was not good.
Oh,
like,
no.
he's not been good in his career. Like, if you're going to go get somebody like Leonard Fournette, who was outstanding last year, why do you have him benched? Because, yeah, he only averaged 1 yard a carry, but you never gave him a shot to build a rhythm either.
Well, to be honest, how much of the playbook does he have down after being signed?
That could also be
4
it, too.
days before that.
That could also be it, too, which is kind of
one thing about that game that one of the announcers pointed out, I don't know if this was a Buccaneers strategy, but it's stupid. 7 guys on their defense have different jersey numbers, and one of the announcers was making a point of, like, the other teams are going to have trouble watching film from last year because they don't know who's who because everybody has a different number. If you're the team that's watching film and keeping an eye on people's numbers, that doesn't seem like a good way to watch film. I don't know.
Right. That's terrible tactic.
Yeah, just because they change numbers, their defense is harder to read. And no,
because you know what you do.
Positions.
You go, oh, what number is JJ Watt? Oh, he's not 99 anymore. I bet he's the hulking white guy on the other side of that line. Let me just keep track of him on this play. Oh, what do you know? He blew it up. Maybe I should watch this guy. That's not how you watch film. Like, yeah, you want to know on every play where a JJ Watt is, where somebody is, but like on the film, you're generally going to know where he's lining up by looking at it. You're not going to be lost by somebody that's – I mean, it's possible, but I don't know.
I don't know. It would be if you talk to Aaron with the Tennessee game with Derrick Henry and Clowney.
No, I saw that before the game, and I'm like, if it wasn't for the jersey number, you could not tell those two guys apart. They are the same fucking
they don't play
size.
on the same side of the ball.
Yes, but they're the same fucking size, and it's scary that
they didn't really sign Clowney. It's just Henry playing Iron Man football.
Yeah,
he just keeps changing his jersey.
He undoes his dread.
Missed that Jadeveon Clowney was signed.
Yeah, he's on Tennessee now.
Yeah, I forgot about that completely, and I'm thinking about it as like they do look identical.
Speaking of that game, Tennessee won. Yeah. Luckily, that Stephen Gostkowski, the one kick he made, is the one that mattered the most.
Yeah.
He went off 3 field goals. 3 field goals he missed and an extra point. He went Cody Parkey to the extreme on them. Speaking of kickers, here's a crazy stat for you guys. This is the first season since 1996 that Adam Vinatieri is not in the league. Let that sink in.
I was actually just thinking in my head, I was like, is Vinatieri still on the Colts? Like,
nope.
Who's kicking? He's got to be 70 by now.
Nope. I guess he retired this year. I forgot who was kicking field goals for them. But, yeah, it's not Vinatieri. Since 96.
Wait, how many grandchildren does he have?
How many what?
How many grandchildren?
How many grandchildren does he have?
A lot.
He's like 40-something.
Rams-Cowboys, Mike McCarthy's debut in Dallas, not too surprising?
Yeah, he flopped in the fourth quarter, which is a McCarthy tradition.
Game. That game was
boring. Bro, that offense put up 17 points. Saying he flopped in the fourth quarter is like, oh.
Yeah.
He flopped that whole game.
Especially with the Rams offense that just doesn't scare me anymore. I mean, no Todd Gurley, no Brandon Cooks. It's Malcolm Brown ran all over.
I like Malcolm Brown. I thought Malcolm Brown was going to be a stud, and they've got Cam Akers back there now too. Who, again, it was his first game. He only averaged 2.8, but I think he's going to be a good change of pace. And Jared Goff is still Jared Goff. He's going to hit and miss. I don't know. Robert Woods, I think, is incredibly underrated.
Yeah, he had a great game.
All he does is produce.
Yeah. He's a solid player.
You know what? Maybe the Packers should try to trade for him.
Yeah, I would like that.
He'd fit that offense. He's a ball control guy.
I mean, here's the thing. They had Robert Brooks, who was amazing. Then they had Robert Ferguson, who sucked dick. So maybe if they go back to Robert Woods, it'll be good again.
I don't
I loved Robert Brooks.
think of Roberts as a thing, but it's just a common name.
You know what? No, it's not. It's the rarest name ever. It's Robert.
That's right. I've never heard the name Robert or Bob or Bobby or Robbie or Roberto or.
All right.
One thing I did note. Oh yeah, never mind. Fuck it. I don't care that much, honestly.
Okay.
I was just trying to fill something to say, and you were like, "All right." I was like, "Yeah."
All right.
We'll
We're gonna wrap things up here. We're gonna wrap things up here, but I'm gonna have a trivia for you guys today. This is a question that I've wanted to ask and see how many people actually know. Do you guys know who holds the single game record for receiving yards in the NFL?
Yes. I just don't know the name. Like, I know it because I've seen Madden enough times. I want to say it's Jerry Rice, but I don't think it is.
Nope.
It's
No.
He's a newer receiver.
Nope.
No.
Hang on here. I'm waiting for Tyler to come back.
Damn.
Who am I thinking of?
I know Julio had the 300-yard game.
Who am I thinking of?
Yeah, there's been some guys that have had 300-yard games. The record is 336 yards. This is a tough one because it is a no-name player. One game wonder. He actually was a decent player for his career if you look up his stats.
Older or newer?
Older. I think it was in late 80s, early 90s.
And it's not Rice?
It's not Rice. Many people would think Calvin Johnson. He had a 329-yard game. Close. His name
Flipper,
is
right?
Flipper Anderson.
That was his nickname, buddy. Google it.
Yeah, well, that's what he went by, Flipper Anderson, for the St. Louis Rams. I believe it was a Monday night game.
But the reason I know it is because of Madden, because it's the thing on there for receiving yards, and I was like,
it's an obscure one, but yeah, Flipper Anderson. That's a name you never think
totally
would nominate
yeah.
Calvin Johnson, like I said, came close, 7 yards short. But yeah, Flipper Anderson. That's our trivia question for today. Yeah, a little shocking for you. So who knows? Maybe that gets broken this year. But
hopefully.
I think we're gonna. Yeah, that'd be nice. Give me some more points. It feels so good to take down our reigning champ. I know. Well, I know it doesn't matter much now, but.
Jesus. All right, and we're done.
All right, we'll call this quits.
I lost the first game last year too, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah. All right, we're gonna sign off.
We have to edit so much of this next video out because of you going like broke.
No, my internet's going out here, so I think that's time for us to sign off. We will catch you guys next week with more exciting recap of Week 2. Signing off, I'm Aaron.
I'm TJ.
I'm Tyler.
See you later.
Yeah.
We'll see if I edit that.
Throw up gang signs, man.